I remember the moment my vision went white and everything went silent. There was no pain, no fear, just a vast stillness like floating in a boundless ocean of light. In that place, time did not exist, and the boundaries between me and everything else dissolved. It felt as though I had stepped outside of reality into a realm older than creation itself. A presence more loving than any human I had ever known beckoned me forward, not with words, but with a deep knowing that stirred every fiber of my being. I did not question what I was experiencing because in that moment I understood that I was home, and that nothing could ever harm me again. The light began to take shape into a form that felt familiar, yet far beyond anything I could describe. There was a voice resonant like the echo of mountains and gentle like a mother's lullaby. The voice did not speak in syllables but communicated directly into my heart. It conveyed that I had been loved into existence, that every breath I took had been a gift, and that every choice I made rippled through the tapestry of life. I felt the weight of my mistakes and the beauty of my virtues, but there was no condemnation, only acceptance and compassion. I sensed that my purpose extended far beyond my earthly concerns, and that I had a role to play in a grand tapestry of love and service. Question rose within me, unbidden and clear. Do you understand why you were created? The answer came not from me, but from the presence around me. You were created to know love, to express love, and to become love in action. In that moment I saw my life unfold like a film reel, not in judgment, but in analysis of every instance where I chose fear instead of faith every time I hurt another through indifference or ignorance. Yet alongside those memories I saw the countless moments of kindness, the small sacrifices, the genuine smiles, the hands offered in help. I realized that every act of love, no matter how minute, had value and contributed to the divine purpose that stretched beyond my comprehension. Then I was shown the state of humanity, a tapestry woven with threads of fear, anger, and division, but also with resilience, compassion, and unity. I saw how people built walls around their hearts, how they hurt one another in pursuit of power, security, or simple ignorance. I witnessed the suffering of the marginalized, the cries of the oppressed, and the longing of the lonely. Yet, even in the darkest corners, I saw sparks of hope, acts of rebellion against the forces of despair, the courageous choices of those who stood up for truth, kindness, and justice, without seeking recognition or reward. Those sparks glowed like stars in the night, urging me to understand that every soul mattered, that every moment offered a chance for redemption and transformation. I felt a call to return, a knowing that my life on earth had not ended, but was merely a chapter in a journey without end. I was met with a choice to stay enveloped in the boundless love, or to return to the realm of duality, where challenge and growth awaited. The thought of leaving that perfect peace elicited a pang of sorrow, but I understood that my true destiny lay in bringing the light I had experienced back into the world. Without hesitation, I agreed to return, even though it meant confronting my fears, my regrets, and the unknown path ahead. In an instant, I found myself back in my body, lying in a hospital, bed surrounded by beeping machines and rushed footsteps. My eyes opened to the harsh glare of fluorescent lights, the sterile smell of antiseptic, and the sound of someone calling my name with relief and terror intermingled. I blinked again, and tried to speak, but my voice emerged as a whisper. They told me I had flatlined for minutes longer than expected, yet here I was alive. My mind reeled with fragments of the experience, urging me to make sense of what had happened. In the days that followed, I struggled to articulate the encounter, fearing I would sound delusional or misguided. Yet I knew I had seen something real, something that transcended all the debates and doctrines that had dogged me for years. I realized that the heart of religion is not rituals or dogma, but an invitation to love fully, to extend compassion to every living being, to recognize the spark of the divine in each person, to seek unity rather than division. I learned that God's desire is not to demand blind obedience, but to nurture a relationship based on trust, vulnerability, and active love. We are called to be conduits of this love, to heal the world through acts of kindness, to feed the hungry, to shelter the homeless, to forgive the unforgivable, and to risk for the sake of hope and reconciliation. The ultimate purpose of our existence is to embody the love that sustains the universe, and to awaken others to this truth through our words, deeds, and presence. In the weeks since my return, I have witnessed the transformation that can occur when someone embraces this calling. I have seen hardened criminals discover empathy when treated with genuine respect. I have known cynics soften when faced with unwavering kindness. I have watched communities come together across lines of race, creed, and nationality to rebuild aftermath of disaster driven not by fear but by shared humanity. These moments reaffirm that when we choose love over fear, when we embrace our interconnectedness, we align ourselves with a force more potent than any weapon or ideology. This force not only heals individuals but can heal societies and ultimately, the planet. I do not claim to have all the answers, nor do I believe that my experience is unique. I know countless others who have returned from the brink with similar messages of love, peace, and unity. But I also respect those who feel skeptical, for we live in a world shaped by logic, competition, and survival instinct. I invite the skeptics to consider the possibility that our reality extends beyond what we can measure, that the essence of who we are is not confined to our bodies or our minds, but is part of an infinite consciousness striving toward wholeness. I encourage those mired in pain or doubt to reach out for support, whether through community meditation, acts of service, honest conversation, or whatever practice resonates. You are not alone and you are profoundly cherished. Every day I wake with a renewed sense of purpose, knowing that the time I was granted is a gift, not a guarantee. I strive to live in a manner that honors the light I witnessed, sharing it through simple truths spoken and lived. I remind myself that every encounter is an opportunity to reflect that light, to see the divine spark in the cashier at the grocery store, the driver on the freeway, and the stranger who smiles in passing. I seek moments of stillness to reconnect to the source of love that undergirds existence, to recalibrate my intentions, and to realign my actions with the highest good. If my experience teaches anything, it is that the question is not whether God exists, but whether we are willing to become instruments of divine love. We are not passive recipients, but co-creators of reality, charged with weaving a future rooted in empathy, compassion, and justice. The legacy we leave is measured not in wealth or status, but in the lives we touch, the wounds we heal, and the hope we kindle. In the end, the true measure of a life well lived is the capacity to love without limit and to inspire others to do the same. I share this story not as proof, but as an invitation. You may choose to embrace it or to walk your own path, guided by reason, faith, or intuition. Whatever your beliefs, remember this core truth that underlies every spiritual tradition and every culture at its best. Love is the origin and destiny of all things. To love fully is to fulfill the purpose for which we were created, and in choosing love we discover not only what God wants from us but who we truly are.